Hey, this is Matt Matteson along with our host Nathan Hepler with the Contacts and Contracts podcast. Today we've got a special guest on the podcast today, Joe Matteson with Mattison's Arbor. He also happens to be my brother, so thanks for coming in.
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity to come on here with you guys and get to talk a little bit about what you guys do, what I get to do, and share it with the world, man.
Trees.
Yes, sir.
Trees. Well, good, man. Well, we're going to go ahead and kick it off. I know your story, obviously, because I'm your brother. But you've got a really cool story. So kind of like break down how you got to where you are today.
So born in High Point, moved to Archdale when I was younger. Started out childhood here, played sports here, loved the area. Moving into, the adult life and everything like that, I never could quite decide what it was that I was going to do when I grew up. I thought about military, thought about all the different career options, going to school, things like that. And, just kind of had a roller coaster of a ride for early employment. So trying different things out and, venturing through life and figuring out what's best going to support myself as well as my family. So through time, about 7 years ago, I was going to church with a friend of mine that he grew up in the Scouts, had a lot of knowledge and felling trees and things like that. And me, being that I had always looked for different opportunities and ways to make money, along with a few friends of mine, we have always kind of had an obsession with business. So that was kind of a preliminary indicator that, hey, if I were to jump into trees, it would give me an opportunity to make some money, low overhead, and, I could get out here and start, cutting things down and being a kid again. So that's simply how it started. I started out with a small chainsaw and, a couple little odd and end jobs. As I got a little bit bigger into it, it was more than just felling. I knew that it wasn't, we're not out west. I can't just go out here and log trees. There's other avenues and things that you've got to be able to adjust to here. We have a different type of tree growth, obviously, in neighborhoods and things like that. It's a little more complex than just felling them. So I had a tax return and a desire to start making some money with this. And again, this is 7 years ago. And this buddy that I was going to church with, he said, I know a guy that does this part-time, knows how to climb. He said, I'll talk to him, see if he's interested in showing you anything. So went out and checked this guy out, and, I got to his house. He had a simple line set up in a tree, had the harness out there and everything like that, and was like, here it is. Here's the basics. Try it on, see what you think. So obviously put the saddle on, jumped into this tree, learned bare bones of what it was to actually ascend into a tree. And that definitely spiked my interest. I don't know many kids that don't enjoy climbing up into a pine tree, magnolia, something with a bunch of limbs that they can jump up into and kind of venture out through it. Through time, I saw that, hey, this is a way that I can have fun. It became a hobby. It was something that, I would do for friends and family, things like that, make a little extra money. I had a full-time job, but it was something to, be able to go do extra stuff with. And again, I enjoyed it. So fast forward to where we are now. About a year ago is when I actually pursued this full-time. I was a fiber splicer for a contract company. We contracted for Spectrum.
Boo! No,
it was.
We're not a fan of Spectrum here, but we can't. We'll probably get sued if we say that.
So and I had worked for some other telecom companies as well, but I got into fiber splicing, and every day that I'd be sitting, I'd sit there and think, man, what can I be doing? I could be, I could be studying something, I could be doing something, something that's gonna, again, money was a little bit of the focus at the time, just to be able to provide.
Sure.
I
believe your brother's got a little bit of that in him.
Yeah. It's a curse.
Yeah.
It is a curse.
What's wrong with you?
Relax, man. You
Me
ain't got to work
too.
all the time. Yeah.
By the time I was getting out of it, I was making roughly six figures. So it was, providing the financial opportunities.
Absolutely was.
And that brings us kind of to present day of where the transition into the tree industry came. It was something that I was familiar with, but I was dealing with some health issues at the time. I mean, I know everybody talks about anxiety and things like that, mental health, but it was something that I was really struggling with. I'm not a big guru on medication. It's not something that I've, gone and gotten prescriptions from the doctor frequently. I try to, find avenues to take care of things on my own.
Sure.
But the anxiety was, it was starting to creep in physically. I was having chest pains, cramps in my calves, a bunch of different issues. And I was going to the doctor, trying to figure out what was going on, and finally broke down and started taking this medicine. The anxiety it definitely knocked the edge off of it.
Wow.
But it was still there.
Really?
Yeah, it was still present. So I started, praying a lot more, having conversations with friends. I'd call Matt up and talk with him, and it got to the point where I was on the phone with somebody 8 hours a day,
Every single day.
single day.
Really?
Absolutely.
I hate this. This is killing me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, figure it out. I think that's a good attestation too, that like there's a lot of things we could do to make a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
But there's sacrifices that come with that.
A lot comes
Money's
with
not
it.
everything.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. We all like to be able to pay our bills and go to the beach
Absolutely.
and have a little bit extra.
Provide for your
but,
family and make, yeah.
That's and that's something that I've always kind of been about. Like, my entire life. Obviously, what I do for a living, you don't do it
Mm-hmm.
for the money.
Yeah.
You do it because you have a passion for something. And I'm not going to cut your story off.
No,
So
you're
basically, what we're saying is it's Matt's fault. Matt's right. This is all your brother's fault.
the scapegoat.
Yeah. Put it on me.
But through some of these conversations that I was starting to have with friends and family is, I've got this decision of, hey, suck it up, be a man, or, suck it up, be a man. There's two avenues that I can choose here is I have no choice but to work. My wife's been a stay-at-home mom for the past 8 years.
Okay, that's awesome.
Now has transitioned into working, but I had a really hard conversation one day with a buddy, and I called him up and I said, man, like I told him, I've been praying about it, been, worried sick about this. I've got a big income to replace at this point.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
And being the sole provider at the time, it was something that I was really concerned with. So I got on the phone with this guy one day. His name's Jake. I coach baseball with him. Super great dude. And
Shout out to Jake.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So this conversation kind of went along these lines of, man, I'm so afraid to let go of what I have right now. This income, I've bought a truck at this point. We're involved in travel ball. We're doing all these things, trying to be as involved with our kids and provide all these opportunities
Sure thing.
to go do things. I said, I'm afraid I'm going to lose it all. If I give up this job, man, I'm going to take a big hit. There's no certainty in what I'm going to go do. He said, Joe, whether you like to admit it or not, he said, that family's yours, but it's God's family first.
Oh, okay.
And
That's a good perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Really good perspective.
And so over the next couple weeks, conversations with my wife, and shout out to Jess as well. She's super patient.
Smart
with me.
man.
She's a lot smarter than I am, but she's been a huge blessing from God, man as far
awesome.
as having my back and supporting me through this. But through all these hard conversations and tough things that I was dealing with, I came to the realization that no matter what I do, what any of us do in this life, that if there's no glory for God in it, there's no purpose in it.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you here.
So this, one, it freed up some mental capacity there, being able to let go of that. And 2 weeks later, that day I went in, put my 2 weeks notice in, and 2 weeks later I was jobless per se. I had started kind of putting some feelers out for some tree work again. Like I said, it's something that I'd dabbled with a lot part time.
Gotcha.
And work just flying out of nowhere. It started coming, and that's the thing, through prayer and just staying humble with it. God opened a lot of doors.
Open doors.
So that leads us to, like I said, about a year ago. No surefire plan, no guarantee of work, not anything that was set in stone. I had the tree gear that I had acquired over the past 7 years, but that was about it. I had the truck and the tree gear, and that was what I was going with.
Wow.
Ask him how many times he's gone hungry.
Yeah.
He's
scared out.
He's exactly right, man. And
that's awesome.
It's there. Don't get me wrong. There's some weeks I feel like El Chapo, and then other weeks I'm ready to go on the side of the corner of 85 and 109 here and
with some
ask for
cardboard.
money.
Yeah.
So, but it's been a great testament, not only for entrepreneurship but for my faith, man. Is been able to grow in the past year.
Definitely best story we've had. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well,
awesome.
it feels minuscule, and I always think, who am I? To be able to share my story with other people, but at the same time, I've got to realize that the fact that I have a story is something to be thankful for, and it's worth sharing at that point.
Oh, absolutely.
For it to fall on somebody else's ears, it may make a difference.
It's been cool to watch it. It's obviously I'm more tied to it than the average person, but it's still, I'm an outsider. Like, I'm not you.
Yep.
I'm an outsider looking in. So it's been cool to watch where you were. A lot of people have something that they're passionate about and want to do, and never jump off. You got to jump off a cliff for your parachute to open.
Yeah.
I think I heard Steve Harvey make a reference to that, talking about, one thing's for sure, like, if you jump off the cliff, you're going to get scratched up, you're going to get beat up.
You're going to get beat
but
up.
But your
bit.
parachute's eventually going to open.
That's right.
But your parachute will never going to open if, it'll never open if you don't jump off the cliff.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. That might be, motivation for people that listen to this, kind of hear that story. Money's not everything, but you have you got a passion for something you want to do. Send it.
Absolutely.
Send it.
And just a, quick brush on this is, the friends that I talk to, like I said, this initially started out, 7 years ago. I've got a group of friends that are really big into business. I've got a buddy of mine that I want to say was 18, 19 years old. He jumped off the cliff that Matt's talking about, and he has been successful ever since. He's got a heck of a business going for him now. We work hand in hand.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, it's a roll. He does roll off dumpsters, and
really,
yeah.
Okay.
So he'll come out and lay these dumpsters out for me, and it, regardless of the fact of how big I get, I think it's really helpful because I'm able to stay on site, stay on task, and keep working, and the hauling and everything like that's getting done for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, and get your system there in place.
Absolutely, and I mean he's been another big one that, he was there for me a lot, having these hard conversations with me, and him, my wife, and like I said, my relationship with Christ, man, is kind of what ultimately led to this big jump. Like, I could have gone somewhere else to work, but decided that entrepreneurship would be, kind of the best avenue to take.
Yeah, best fit for your family and all
absolutely.
that. Yeah,
it's fantastic. It's it's the one thing that I've found. Like I said, the anxiety medicine, it knocked the edge off, but I mean, God's the cure for that, man. I was able to, another testimony there is that I was able to cold turkey that.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Taking that leap of faith, and like I said, man, just putting it in God's hands. Whether I'm hanging from a tree and fall out of it tomorrow or leave here and get in a car accident.
Got it in his hands, yeah.
My battle's won, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
That's cool to hear. That's cool to hear. We got to ask, how crazy do you have to be to climb these trees that you go into?
so I think that if I'll say this: if I were to come into your office tomorrow and try to do property management or sales or anything like that, I would probably be pretty intimidated.
It's still easier, by the way, guys, than climbing these trees. And we're going to put some on the screen here as we go through, and y'all see how high he is. That is not what I want to do.
But anything can be intimidating, and of course, there is still fear present. I don't want anybody to think that I'm up here and just free of everything. I mean, there's a level of fear that comes with it, regardless of how long you've been doing it. And I think when you get too comfortable, the complacency and things like that. I mean, like I said, you're at times hanging by a rope that's 12.5 millimeters thick. It's you're cutting with sharp objects, whether it be a handsaw or a chainsaw. So you've got to be really attentive to what's going on. Constantly checking your gear, making sure carabiners are closed, checking the status of your rope. Paying attention to. I mean, these things are holding your life to that tree.
Absolutely.
So I guess there is a level of insanity. I mean, there's people out there that
there is a level of insanity. So let me say this.
First of all, I want to know if he's got you up in these trees before.
I've been in other forms of heights.
Okay.
I'm normally like the like rope rigging and system rigging guy. Yeah. I'm the one that sets all that stuff up when I work with him. But my man here, when he started this, brother was terrified of heights.
Oh my gosh, really?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I could hear his teeth chattering when he was climbing these ropes. So the fact that not only did he quit his job, but went into something where he had to face a fear to do it. No doubt. He's good at what he does. He's absolutely fantastic at what he's doing. Yeah. And I'm proud of him, but my man was scared of heights. Would not. Just hated them.
How long did it take you to get out, get away from the...
So, I mean, the very first removal that I did, so obviously I didn't just buy gear and go jump into a tree with a chainsaw, but my in-laws have a parent tree behind their house, and it is a huge willow oak. I mean, I'd say it's one of the bigger trees that we have here in the state, aside from a big pine that's 100 foot tall, 120 feet tall. I'd say the very tip of the canopy, probably 90 to 100 feet. Obviously, getting to the very tip of that's pretty difficult, but I would say the bottom 70% is what I've climbed in that tree. So I started out there, and it would be incremental. So I started out with the bare basics. I was climbing a Blake's hitch, and all that is a rope that you tie around another rope. I've moved into mechanical devices now, which just make it more. They do the same purpose, but it's a lot easier.
Is it?
But getting accustomed to that height again. Whenever I'm just climbing, we'll say leisure climbing. It's
nobody does leisure.
I don't know anybody that just leisure.
Well, except your brother.
Yeah.
But the pressure's not on at that point.
I got you.
So I don't have a saw in my hands. So
I see what you're saying.
It started there, and there's still to this day that there's times that I'll get into something really big, and there's an uneasiness about it. So. But the very first removal that I did, so the first time that I'm actually getting up here to start cutting and removing some chunks, I got out on a limb, and it was, 20, 25 feet tall. So not the entire tree, but this first limb. And it's called limb walking. So you're not to get too detailed, but there's two different styles of climbing. You have spiking a tree.
I've seen that.
Okay. So, and you'll do that on a removal, and then you have another way. So if I'm just pruning a tree, it will be done with foot ascenders, a foot ascender and a knee ascender.
Okay.
So at that point, I'm using the actual structure of the tree to climb. So I'm using branches to climb up, and that foot ascender, or I can directly ascend up the rope. So, if I've got a limb, the first limb's 40 feet above me and I've got nothing underneath it, I'm able to use a foot ascender to travel up the rope to that point. So this particular tree, I was using spikes. It was a full removal, so we were able to spike into the tree, but I've also got a lifeline in the tree. So it's important that you always have 2 tie-ins. So you've got one that you can kind of, move and progress throughout the tree, and then a safety that you'll tie off. So anytime that you're cutting or something like that, you want to have multiple tie-ins. That way, if there is any slip up, mishap with the saw, something like that happens, you've got a secondary tie-in point. So if something fails or something like that, you've got an additional safety there.
That's good. I'm sure your wife enjoys that you've got safety in mind there.
Yeah. So,
wait a minute. How many life insurance policies does she have on you?
There, one through her work, and then I've got.
I was just joking.
I've got one of my own. So.
Okay.
But
he's got the beneficiary as me on that one.
There you go. There you go. Should we be getting a Hepler Realty life insurance policy on Joe? That's what we need to do.
So, the first limb walk, like I said, I'm 25 feet up, and this has been several years ago, but the guy that was helping me from church, like I said, the guy that was in Scouts and everything, I'm walking out on this limb, and I get about halfway out, and I freeze. I mean, there's no movement. There's nothing that I can just grip the bark of the tree and, what do I do? What am I going to do here? So I'd say probably about 10 or 15 minutes on that limb of talking about it and, what can I do here? How can I handle this? What's the next step I need to take? I start making cuts on it. We're able to get that limb down. And then I'm forced, I have a customer that's paying me to be out here on the property to remove this tree. And a little bit of my pride involved. I can't, go tuck my tail and walk back to the house and say I can't do it. So I have no choice but to continue up this tree. So I'm scared on the first one here. What am I going to do when I get to the next one? So it's been a great opportunity to push through those times of severe fear. I mean, where you're freezing up. So I guess it has come incrementally over time, where there's little barriers that I've had to push through. There's, like I said, there's trees that I'll get into nowadays that I would have never dreamed of climbing.
Really?
Never would have thought about doing it.
Wow.
And there's still things that are intimidating. I mean, I won't lie about that. There's things that I'll get into, and like I said, just take my time and really try to think through what I need to do, what I need to be doing.
What's the next step, and keep your safety.
So, and the best way to eat an elephant is a bite at a time.
Wow, so, that's a good analogy for everybody out there. I mean, that's a good perspective for sure.
Whenever I come out to look at a tree, I mean, there's a few things that I'm looking at. Obviously, the structure of the tree. If it's a dead tree, obviously it's a little bit higher risk. Mishaps that do happen, it's not an if, but when little things do happen. Mistakes, we're human, mistakes are going to happen. But they're at a higher frequency with dead trees. So when felling a tree or making cuts, you rely on hinge wood, different cuts. Your approach to these cuts are made differently depending on where you're at in the tree, what's below you, the different surroundings and everything like that. With a dead tree, that hinge wood is compromised. So your ability to steer and to control things is more limited. So,
because you don't really want to. I mean, obviously, you never want to climb a dead tree.
Right. So, and the only, I guess, caveats to that is if I have, we'll say, there's 2 trees right side by side. We'll just use a white oak. So I got a beautiful white oak right here, and then right beside it, we'll say 10, 15 feet away, I've got a dead tree. Yeah. Depending on the height of that oak and things like that, if I've got a safe tie-in into that tree, I'll tie into that tree, and I have no issue going up a dead tree at that point.
Really?
And so that secondary holds me to that tree, but
Gotcha.
the primary or lifeline there. So if anything were to fail in this tree, I've got a way to swing back. So I'll survive.
I've never heard that. Okay.
Yep. So I'll survive a swing
Ooh.
over a fall.
Yeah, it looks like Tarzan. I've seen it.
So
It's interesting.
But so that's kind of the explanation with the dead trees. Also, location has a lot. You can take the exact same tree, you put it out in the middle of a field where we can just, hey, drop it, cut it up, haul it off. And there's other options too. I mean, some folks like you to come out there, hey, I'll take care of the limbs and brush. You just put it on the ground for me.
Yeah.
So you've got a few different, I guess, scenarios that they're looking for there. So that plays a factor into the cost as well. But if you take that same tree in a field versus beside a house, whether you're having to use a lift, a bucket, climb it, whatever it may be, one small mistake, and I mean something that is 10 to 15 pounds, if you drop it for 20 to 30 feet.
You think about that.
Yeah.
It could become a little more dangerous.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anytime that we're working over a structure, even to the things that you may not think about every day, septic fields or like your leach fields, septic tanks, things like that. Vehicles can be moved, houses can't, septic fields can't. Fences, a lot of these things play factors into not only the risk that's involved, but the work that is involved to protect those. So, like I said, in the field, it doesn't matter. If you cut it and it goes backwards, then it's in a field.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, with these other contributing factors, it has a difference on time, on the resources that you need.
The risk, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
removal.
So, and that's so I volunteered at the fire department when I was younger. And the three things that they would look at is life safety is number one, incident stabilization, and property conservation. Those are three things that I try to apply to this as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, picked it up from the fire department.
Yeah. So the first thing that I'm focused on is not only my safety, my customer, anybody that's out there. It's an interesting process. So people are intrigued by it.
Yeah.
So you do have bystanders. You have people that'll walk up and look, and I'm here to work, but I'm here to protect everyone that's there.
Absolutely.
The guys on the ground, myself, the people around it, and then second to that is property. So we're wanting to protect, stabilize the incident. So I don't, I'm not trying to hit houses. And not only is it a financial burden at that point, but a extreme inconvenience to the customer. It's not a good business practice. It's not something that you want to, like I said, things do happen. That's what insurance is for.
Sure.
But ultimately, that's, one thing that you're trying to avoid.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, trying to avoid, anything being hit, really. It's not just houses or roofs or gutters. I'm sure that would tear up a lot, too. But.
Absolutely. So those are, some contributing factors, and then also the time that it takes within, so it's not just the fact that, hey, this is over your house, but now we're having to tie every limb that we climb out on. We're having to put a rigging rope on. We're having to block this down, whether it be a zip line setup, kind of like Matt was talking about earlier, or, just blocking it out of the tree, setting a pulley in the tree, tying this off, and then having a braking device at the base of the tree. The amount of time that it takes to accomplish those tasks versus if I were to climb a tree and just, hey, it's too close to a house to be able to drop, but it's not close enough to where if a poplar, they go straight up, branches kind of grow up and out. On your way up, you're just kind of lopping things off and they drop to the ground.
Drop.
Yeah. But if you were to try and fell that tree, you've got structures in different areas that you'd be concerned with. So those are my favorite to climb. The rigging is fun. It's an interesting process, but that's probably one of my favorite things to do is just work my way up the tree, chopping as I go, and then block it down as I come down without having to rig these points and
I got you.
Stuff like that.
All that. So most of y'all are trying to watch your favorite show on Netflix. This guy's out trying to figure out how to climb the next tree that's 100 foot tall. He's a little different. He's a little different.
We'll be riding around and, trying to go somewhere. I don't know. And he'd be like, man, you see that tree over there? Look at that tree. I'm like, yeah, I see it, Joe. What about it? And he's like, man, it's a big old tree. Which I get it. You know, everybody has their thing.
That's his thing.
Everybody has their thing. I like trains. You know.
He likes being really high now.
Yeah.
So now do you feel like, do you honestly feel like you're comfortable 75 feet in the air?
Yes. Yeah. So it's
That's crazy to me.
like I said, there is the I guess that little voice in the back of your head that's, you know, screaming at you.
Yeah.
It's an unnatural feeling, but there's once you're able to kind of pass through those mental blockers, being able to, I mean, I've had some of the most amazing views from
I bet.
from the top of the trees.
Think about that, yeah.
You know, I had one early this year. It's I want to say January or February. I was climbing out by a lake, so it was really cold. But you know, just watching the waterfowl on the lake, and you know, being able to see the sun and things moving throughout the sky as I'm working on this tree and the view that I've got. You know, and it'd be the last time that somebody's got that view on a removal.
So that's right, because you're taking it down.
Yep. So
that's awesome.
So it's like I said, the fear. I hope it never leaves. I know that sounds crazy.
That'll probably keep you safe. Probably
keeps you safe.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely try not to let pride be a big ruler of my life. But there's a sense of pride that comes with it. You know, the fact that not many are willing or wanting to get up there and to do these things. But
not only to do the work, but one thing that I'll say about you, and again, like I know him personally, he's my brother.
Sure.
But he has this motto that I've always kind of thought was cool, but like, leave it better than you found it. So, you know, yeah, he's out here doing this to make money, but he truly cares about, almost to the point it's annoying. I'm like, brother, this property looks 100 times better.
Like, let's go home.
You know,
like,
we are not going to take this screwdriver and go dig dirt out of the expansion cracks in this driveway. Like, you didn't cause that. So, like, he truly, it's to a fault. It's his character, but it's you know, I can personally attest to this. Like, when he leaves a job site, he truly cares about what the customer thinks. You know, he takes pride in what he does. So, you got that going for you at least.
Appreciate it.
Now, what brand do you see? Some of these tree guys, and I'm thinking of my dad. He's cut trees, you know, all my life, because I used to help him. I was the limb guy, by the way.
Gotcha.
What company? What's your brand that you go to on?
So there are several brands out there that I use, but I would say like my biggest vendor, and there's somebody here locally, is Stihl Tree.
What about saws?
Saws, I'm a big Stihl guy right now.
Stihl guy? Okay, that's what my dad had. Okay.
I run Echo climbing saws, though.
Do you really?
They have a 2511. It's a CS 2511. Fantastic saw. It is a smaller saw, but it's super lightweight. You know, once I run a 14-inch bar on it, and there are some things that is kind of, I mean, there's all kinds of build kits for these things. You can soup them up, do all kinds of crazy stuff. But
so we're not talking about like a Lowe's chainsaw here.
No,
we're talking high dollar.
So there's a big difference there too. As far as, you know, he was talking about the 500i earlier. That is a fuel injected saw.
Fuel injected.
Oh yeah. It's a big daddy.
So
I didn't even know they even had fuel injected saws.
It is incredible.
Dude, you cut this building down with that saw. Tell you what,
it is great. And you know, I want to say there's two production saws above that. There's a 661 and then an 881 Magnum that Stihl makes. And that 881, you might want to fact check me on this, but I'm almost certain the power head alone on it, so just no bar or anything like that.
Nothing on it.
Power head only. I want to say it's 26 pounds.
How much does that saw run?
That saw I think is retailing for about $2,600 right now.
Would you say it was the Stihl
881 Magnum? For the 500, I use it super frequently. I use it a lot on the ground, bucking trees up, things like that. You know, even sometimes it's overkill for what I'm using it for. I'd like to see 3 to 5 years out of it.
Okay.
That one is about $2,000. I mean, it's got a little bit more. So the 661 and the 881 I believe they're both carbureted. I want to say the 661's got some electronic equipment in there to kind of adjust throttle response and things on the fly.
So they
but
gotten technology.
It is.
Yes.
The 881 is. It actually says here, according to artificial intelligence,
there you go.
It's the most powerful production chainsaw in the world. It's got an 8.6 horsepower engine. Can run bars up to 41 inches and typically costs between $2,200 and $2,700 depending on the bar and the retailer.
So
Ace Hardware's got one on sale right now for $26.89.
Wow. So I will say
That's a big old saw, buddy.
So Stihl, they're gonna put those recommendations on there. It's my goal to have one of those.
Is it really?
For the once or twice a year that I may use it.
That's awesome.
But that'll be one that.
Well, speaking of your goal there to one day have that, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, what your company is, and where it's based out of, and we'll get that out of the way, and we'll probably move that around in the video too.
All
but
right.
How can they get a hold of you?
All right, so Mattison's Arbor is the company name. We're big on Facebook, Instagram. We do have a TikTok. It's not something we post super frequently to. You can find us on both of those there. Working on our Google page right now.
Okay.
It is a headache.
It is a headache to get that approved through Google. Yes.
The video verification and everything like that. Or contact me by cell. And that's 336-259-9685.
Okay.
Even if you're out in
Why did you look at me like that when you said your phone number?
I don't know if you can edit that out if you want.
I know your phone number. You're just looking at me like I was supposed to be nodding at you or something.
No. But one other thing, like I was telling you earlier, is Facebook is where I see a lot of actual business generate from, where people message or contact us
through Facebook.
I don't know that Instagram has promoted those leads. But Instagram has given me another foothold in a different realm. And like I said, the tree industry does carry a slightly bad rap here.
Yeah.
And I hope that, a kind face and a gentle heart, to say, is a promoter to kind of restore the faith in the industry. To be that I'm, like I said, I want to be as educated as I can on this on this stuff, but also provide that education to others. And Instagram has kind of given me an opportunity to, reach more people.
Right.
That one video that we had talked about earlier, it's me holding a stick and talking about how we're measuring this tree with a stick.
Huh.
And 1.5 million people viewed it.
That's crazy.
And
that's awesome.
Again, not tooting a horn or anything like that, but just to see how far something, Matt filmed me in a backyard,
man,
and was like, "Are you serious right now?" For that video to go, from "Are you kidding me? This is a joke" to where it was.
Matt, did you get any royalties off that 1.5 million views off that?
I've sent him an invoice.
So
that was pretty wild how that works. Talking about advertising, that's one of the hardest things in this game.
I guarantee.
To hit the nail on the head with what's going to get traction and what's not.
Yeah.
You can spend hours.
Yeah, he could spend hours on advertising and not get those views, and you go out there and
I go out there and take a
stick.
daggum video of him with my cell phone standing in his side yard talking to, Uncle Rick across the street, and he's standing there with a stick talking about where the tree's going to fall. And, he's like, man, at the time, he's like, man, I got over 500,000 views on this. And I'm like, what?
So
I spent 4 hours on a listing video that gets 500 likes. And my man's out there diddling the stick around in the yard and gets 1.4, 1.5
now. Yep. Well, all it is there's books that I've read through time to kind of learn some things, but this was a trick that's in that book.
Really?
Shake a stick at it?
No. So
are you talking about how the tree's going to fall? Or are we talking about views?
It attributes to the views, but I'm talking about how this, the book explain that to me.
How it works,
So,
how to figure it out.
And all it is you're creating a right triangle.
Okay.
It is the Pythagorean theorem is all it is. And it's a squared.
Can you spell that for me?
Sorry, no, I can't. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
I always say when I goof up on these, I always say I went to Trinity. Y'all didn't go to Trinity, though, did you?
No, sir.
No.
Okay. I always say I went to Trinity, so that's probably messed up.
But to see, but it was something that, it's anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Anybody can walk out there, grab a stick and measure a tree. But the concept of it being so simple, a resource, you don't have to go to the store to buy it. You can, these trees are dropping limbs all the time.
Right.
So you can walk out there, you find something reasonably straight, it matches the length of your arm, and then you create this right triangle. And it is pretty accurate. I'll say that video, if you look at the comments, I'm not very close, but I should have videoed it all in one video, but I had a result video come afterwards.
I got you.
But if you look at the tip of the canopy, I'd say we're probably within a foot or two of it.
Really?
Yes. So
It was very close.
Yep.
I was there for it. Obviously, I made the video.
It's no, like I said, that the Instagram has provided that. Not that I'm trying to be an influencer, but another foothold, like I said, to kind of restore the image to the industry.
It's the new age of
Yes.
advertising.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're doing right by trying to get the image corrected by the more you put out, faith in God, doing the people right. The more you put out for that industry, the more that it's exactly going to do what you're trying to do.
Right.
It's going to make a better image for your career. It's awesome. That's awesome.
Word of mouth. I got one more question. It's probably going to be the most interesting question of the day. Maybe not. I don't know. What is the absolute sketchiest thing you've done? Not in life.
In the industry.
In the tree industry.
Yeah.
There's a couple out there. As far as looking back on it now, it wouldn't be as sketchy. But the first time you send a top out of a tree, is pretty sketchy.
Because it's this big mass of tree that's not just a limb or whatever, and it's all falling.
Absolutely.
I got you.
So you've got, and believe it or not, the tree feels a lot more stable with a top in it. So whenever you're climbing up, so what you can think of it as resistance. So you've got a big sail, and so all the leaves, the foliage, all this stuff is in the top of that tree. It takes a lot more inertia to move that.
To move it, yeah.
So it's physically the hardest thing that I've ever done.
Really?
As far, aside from like picking up big heavy logs and stuff like that, the climbing is probably the most strenuous that I've ever done.
It's a total body workout.
Mm-hmm.
I bet.
Should sell that, market it and sell it.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Yep.
Well, I've enjoyed learning. Actually, I didn't, not to say that I didn't think about it, I would learn anything, but you've really got your, stuff together as far as your education on this, and I'm sure everybody can tell that you're actually educated on this. You're not just.
I appreciate.
You're not just out there cutting. Your stuff.
Well, I will never claim that I know everything. So there's always more to learn. But
that's your that's definitely the way to be. But at the same time, you don't sell yourself short.
Well,
You've got a good education on this for sure.
It.
And we appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
Tell them again how to get a hold of you, and we'll like I said, we'll run this a few times on the video and podcast as well. How can they get a hold of you?
Gotcha. So we've got Facebook. You can find us Madison's Arbor on Facebook, Instagram. Again, like I said, a light presence on TikTok, and then we're working on our Google page now. So.
Google page. So once that Google page gets going, we want everybody to go on there and give you a 5-star.
Absolutely.
Review, if you boost it up.
Yeah. If you've had an experience with me and you enjoyed it, I'm more than welcome. Even if you didn't, I want honest opinions of what you thought about us on your property and how you perceived us. And
let us know when that gets together and apart, and we'll definitely get you some output on that, get you some advertising on that. We appreciate you. You guys know how to find him now, so we will end this one, and we really appreciate you coming in, Joe. Matt, thank you for helping out today.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you, Joe.
Joe, thank you, sir.
Thank you guys
Hope
for
to
the
have
opportunity.
you on again.